be treated like that.
And so to get him in the right mindset to perform as a driver, we need to treat him like any other driver. Which his locker is the same size. He stays in the same slightly crummy hotels as us, and all of that.
I'm getting a tent tonight, so
eats the same food as us, and that's partly because we are creatures of habit. You have to develop a routine to deal with all these sort of different jobs that we have, and it's important that he blends into that process versus changing the process, which then creates variables that makes you make mistakes. The objective is to not just have the fastest car, it's to collectively have the package, the team, the drivers, the car, the crew that make the least mistakes are generally the ones that win, certainly a race like the Rolex 24.
I have a question over here.
And to answer the second part of the question, sorry,
Sorry.
Just getting in the car for me is a great relaxation. It really is. And being here, being around everybody, being around the other drivers. I mean, it's great that I have a pass that I can go up and talk to other drivers. Like my fan. I'm like fans of them. So it's nice to be in the drivers' meeting to look around and see who's there to go and say hello and all of that. And to be here, it's great. I love it. I'm sorry, yes.
Were you Joshua? Were you a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout?
I was a Cub Scout. I never made it to a Boy Scout, but I was a Cub Scout.
I think you have a
My name is Cody, and how many years have you been racing for?
Joe, you started off.
Well, sort of wooden spoke wheels kind of thing was when I started. No, I've been racing professionally for about my 25th year doing that. So I'm kind of a one-trick pony. I snuck off and joined the carnival when I was 17, basically. Still trying to avoid a real job at this point. And I love Patrick Hansen for himself.
I started probably 7 years ago. I did a Skip Barber course, which I highly recommend. And then met Joe in the piano school, and it's been about 5 years now that I've been doing it pretty much at this level, I think. But my kids are now into go-karts. I highly recommend it. It's a great sport for the family. It's a little dangerous, but it's great fun. It's a good way to prepare yourself for when you're driving a car and things like that. It's great.
By the way, the Mazda ladder system does start with karting.
I'm with Preston, and he has a question.
How fast is the fastest that you've gone during a race?
Here.
About 180 here.
What about on Mulsanne Straight? As fast as it used to be.
I think you're about shy of 200 on the Mulsanne.
What's your favorite car?
What's my favorite car? Well, you know what's really cool that's coming out that I really want to get is the Mazda 2, and I'm waiting for that to happen. It's actually a cool little car. Good mileage. That's one of my... There's a lot of... It's like, what's your favorite Matchbox? How can you pick one, quite honestly? They're all beautiful and all different. But definitely the Mazda 2.
My name is Sonia. What different type of races do you compete in, and how many do you do in a year?
Last year we got a number of races in, mostly in the Rolex series. I've raced the Baja 1000, which has been, that's a great event. And we raced at Le Mans last year, which was a dream come true. So the Rolex series for right now, we'll see where we go. So how many?
That's about 15 total if you count. The whole series is about 15 races.
We were here in July and it was like 100 degrees, and now it's like 30. How are you guys adjusting to the cold weather?
He's from Maine.
I'm from Maine, so I like the cold. The heat's a little bit harder to deal with, and it's just nice to be in the car because the car is so warm. You just want to stay in it. And in July, you just want to get out of it as soon as you get in it. So it's good to be here today.
Hi, I'm Pam, and I was wondering if either of you have any long-term goals racing.
As long as I can afford to go racing, I'd love to go racing and be competitive. It's a great sport. It really is. I mean, the people around it. I think I have more friends in the racing community than I do in Los Angeles, and I really value it. I love going around to all the different tracks in the country. You really get a good sense of what's going on and what people are going through, and we meet a lot of people at the tracks like this, and I really value that. I really enjoy it. It makes a big difference.
I know Charles Espenlove isn't here, but some of our Facebook and Twitter followers, they wanted to ask you what exactly caused the car to burst in flames at Thunderhill. How are you since the accident? Well, how is he since the accident?
Charles is fine. He's actually not here because he's driving another car in the Continental Tire Series. He's one of the three with the snowplow in the front that were going around. But he's fine. It was a failure of the Klingon cloaking device that they had installed on and it kind of jumped into the wrong universe there a little bit. But he's fine. I will say just real quick, there is an impression sometimes that what we do is dangerous. I will say statistically, it's a lot more dangerous for you to drive home than it is for us to be on the racetrack. I'm not trying to scare you, but there's the scary. But you ought to be very afraid. No, we've worked very hard, and the sanctioning bodies manufacturers have over the past 20 years to make racing safe. And there's no small amount of exchange between Patrick's insurance company and us to ensure that it is safe. And once all that data is shown, and the safety features that were in the car, I'm getting to the point where Charles had an issue with about a month or two ago, actually worked perfectly, and he is fine. He's driving a car next door to us right now, and because of all that stuff that works, the suits, the firing helmets, all of that sort of thing work perfectly.
Okay, Andy, you have our last question for Patrick and Joe.
I'm Chase, and my dad told me you juggle. Do you still juggle more?
Do you still juggle?
I do juggle more and more every day. Yeah, I started off ski racing and riding the unicycle, and then one day the power had gone out because it was snowing. And the shop teacher taught me how to juggle, and that sort of got me out of the small town I grew up in Maine, and here I am now. So I highly recommend juggling for all of you Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Okay, well, on behalf of all of us at Daytona International Speedway, I'd like to thank Patrick Dempsey, Joe Foster for joining us in our fan forum. Thank you very much.